Buddhism teaches us that life is inherently unpredictable and mysterious, and it is this very unpredictability that makes life interesting and full of possibilities. No matter how talented or good we are, there will be times when life delivers hard kicks and lessons. But instead of viewing these challenges as setbacks, we can see them as opportunities for growth and transformation. The key lies in understanding the nature of impermanence, a fundamental Buddhist concept that reminds us that nothing in life is permanent, not even our pain and problems. Life is a journey filled with uncertainties and surprises. No matter how prepared we are, or how well we plan, there are moments when things don't go our way. We might find ourselves facing challenges that seem insurmountable, struggling with pain and problems that leave us feeling overwhelmed. In those dark moments, it's easy to lose hope and consider giving up. But Buddhist teachings offer a powerful perspective that can help us navigate through difficult times and find strength in the midst of suffering. When we're going through tough times, it's crucial to remember that our current situation is just a chapter in our life story, not the entire narrative. The struggles we face today can one day become the most inspiring parts of our story, serving as a survival guide for others who may be going through similar challenges. Instead of focusing solely on our own suffering, Buddhism encourages us to reach out and help others. By extending a helping hand to someone in need, we not only bring happiness to others, but also find a sense of purpose and fulfillment ourselves. In a world that often prioritizes instant results and quick fixes, Buddhist teachings remind us that true growth and success take time. Building meaningful relationships, achieving genuine happiness, and finding inner peace are all processes that require patience and perseverance. While the digital world may offer instant gratification, real life demands a different approach. We must learn to embrace the journey, understanding that great things rarely happen overnight. When stress and anxiety overwhelm us, it's important to recognize that resting is okay, but quitting is not. As long as we continue to live and breathe, we have the chance to turn our situation around and create a better future for ourselves. Buddhist wisdom encourages us to hold on to hope, believing that one day we will emerge from our struggles happier and prouder, having grown through our experiences. In this engaging introduction to Buddhist teachings, we will explore how embracing impermanence, practicing perseverance, helping others, and exercising patience can provide us with the tools we need to face life's challenges with resilience and grace. By incorporating these principles into our lives, we can transform our suffering into strength and our struggles into stories of triumph. Life, in its essence, is a tapestry woven with threads of uncertainty and mystery. No matter how meticulously we plan or how diligently we strive for control, there are moments when life takes an unexpected turn, leaving us feeling disoriented and vulnerable. Buddhist teachings offer profound insights into this inherent unpredictability, guiding us to not only accept but also embrace it as a fundamental aspect of our existence. By understanding the nature of impermanence, we can transform our relationship with life's challenges and find strength in the midst of uncertainty. The nature of life, embracing impermanence, and finding strength in uncertainty. The unpredictability of life. Life's unpredictability is not a flaw, but an intrinsic characteristic that imbues our existence with richness and potential. Consider the natural world around us. Seasons shift, tides ebb and flow, and even mountains erode over time. Just as the physical world is in a state of constant flux, our lives mirror this pattern of change. Relationships evolve, career paths twist and turn, and personal circumstances can shift dramatically in an instant. What may seem stable today could be transformed tomorrow by forces beyond our control. The concept of impermanence. This unpredictability can be both daunting and liberating. On one hand, it challenges our desire for security and predictability, often catching us off guard and forcing us to adapt. On the other hand, It opens the door to endless possibilities and opportunities for growth. When we resist this natural flow of change, we create suffering for ourselves. However, when we learn to dance with life's rhythm, embracing its unpredictability, we discover a sense of freedom and resilience that allows us to navigate even the most turbulent waters. At the heart of Buddhist teachings is the concept of impermanence, or anicca in Pali. This principle asserts that all conditioned things are in a state of constant change and nothing possesses a fixed, independent existence. Impermanence is not merely about physical decay or the passage of time. It permeates every aspect of our lives, from our thoughts and emotions to our relationships and experiences. Understanding impermanence begins with observing the transient nature of our own minds. Notice how thoughts arise and pass, how emotions ebb and flow like waves in the ocean. Even moments of joy or sorrow are fleeting, giving way to new experiences as time marches forward. This constant shift is not a sign of instability, but a reflection of life's dynamic nature. When we apply this understanding to our external circumstances, we see that the problems and pains we encounter are also impermanent. The financial quandary that feels overwhelming today may resolve itself with time and effort. The heartbreak that consumes us in the present moment will eventually heal, making room for new connections and experiences. By recognizing that nothing is permanent, we can approach our challenges with a sense of hope and perspective. Life's difficulties, though often painful, serve as powerful teachers. They carve our character, deepen our wisdom, and cultivate resilience within us. Just as a diamond is formed under immense pressure, our greatest growth often emerges from our most challenging experiences. The gift of challenges. When faced with adversity, we are forced to dig deep within ourselves and discover strengths we never knew we possessed. We learn to adapt, to problem solve, and to persevere in the face of hardship. These experiences not only shape us individually, but also connect us to the shared human experience of suffering and resilience. The illusion of permanence. Moreover, our challenges can become the foundation of our greatest contributions to the world. Many individuals who have overcome significant obstacles go on to inspire and support others facing similar difficulties. Their stories of perseverance become beacons of hope, reminding us that even in our darkest moments, there is potential for transformation and growth. A significant source of suffering stems from our attachment to the illusion of permanence. We cling to people, possessions, and circumstances, believing that they can provide lasting security and happiness. Yet this attachment inevitably leads to disappointment when change inevitably occurs. For example, we may form deep attachments to loved ones, fearing the day when they might be taken from us. While cherishing these relationships is natural and beautiful, understanding their impermanent nature allows us to appreciate them more fully in the present moment. Instead of being paralyzed by fear of loss, we can embrace the joy and love that these connections bring, knowing that their value is not diminished by their temporary nature. Similarly, our pursuit of material possessions often stems from a desire for permanence and security. We accumulate wealth and possessions, believing that they can provide lasting happiness. However, these things are subject to decay, loss, and the impermanence of life itself. True security and contentment cannot be found in external possessions, but must be cultivated within through wisdom and inner peace. Cultivating resilience through acceptance. Accepting the impermanent nature of life is not about passively resigning ourselves to circumstances, but about building resilience in the face of change. When we acknowledge that everything is in flux, we develop the flexibility to adapt to new situations and the strength to persevere through difficult times. Furthermore, embracing impermanence allows us to find meaning in life's transient nature. We come to appreciate the beauty of moments precisely because they are fleeting. A sunset is cherished not despite its temporary nature, but because it will soon disappear, making its existence all the more precious. This resilience is cultivated through mindfulness and meditation practices, which help us become more aware of the present moment and less attached to fixed outcomes. By observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we learn to respond to life's challenges with clarity and composure, rather than reacting impulsively from a place of fear or attachment. Understanding impermanence also deepens our capacity for compassion. When we recognize that all beings, including ourselves, are subject to suffering and change, we develop a sense of empathy and connectedness. We see that others' struggles are not so different from our own, fostering a desire to alleviate suffering and support one another. The connection between impermanence and compassion. This compassion extends not only to others, but also to ourselves. When we face difficulties, we can approach ourselves with kindness and understanding, recognizing that our pain is a natural part of life's journey. We learn to offer ourselves the same compassion we would extend to a friend, creating space for healing and growth, embracing the journey. Life's unpredictability and the impermanence of all things may seem like sources of anxiety and fear. However, through Buddhist teachings, we discover that these very aspects of existence can be transformed into sources of strength, resilience, and profound wisdom. By embracing the transient nature of life, we learn to dance with its rhythm, finding beauty in each moment as it unfolds. In the face of uncertainty, we cultivate acceptance and adaptability. We recognize that while we cannot control the external circumstances of our lives, we can control how we respond to them. With this understanding, we approach each day with openness and curiosity, ready to meet whatever challenges or blessings it may bring. As we journey through life, let us remember that its unpredictability is not a flaw, but a gift. It invites us to grow, to learn, and to discover the depth of our own resilience. By embracing impermanence, we unlock the potential for a life lived fully in the present moment, a life marked by wisdom, compassion, and an appreciation for the fleeting yet profound beauty of each experience. Perseverance and perspective. Navigating life's challenges with Buddhist wisdom. Life's journey is rarely smooth or straightforward. There will be moments of joy and triumph, but inevitably, there will also be periods of hardship and struggle. When faced with difficult circumstances, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to question our path, and even to consider giving up. However, Buddhist teachings offer profound insights into how we can navigate these challenging times with resilience, maintain a positive perspective, and ultimately emerge stronger and wiser. The inevitability of challenges. Buddhism acknowledges that suffering, dukkha, is an inherent part of life. This doesn't mean that life is without joy or happiness, but rather that we will all experience moments of pain, loss, and difficulty. The first noble truth, which identifies the existence of suffering, serves as a starting point for understanding our human condition. Recognizing that challenges are inevitable allows us to approach them with a more balanced and realistic mindset. When we understand that difficulties are a natural part of life, we can begin to shift our perspective. Instead of viewing challenges as unexpected obstacles, we can see them as opportunities for growth and learning. This doesn't minimize the pain or hardship we may be experiencing, but it does provide a framework for understanding that we are not alone in our suffering and that it is through these experiences that we develop strength and wisdom. The danger of giving up. Giving up not only prevents us from reaching our potential, but also reinforces a cycle of avoidance and defeat. When we quit in the face of difficulty, we miss the opportunity to learn from the experience and to develop the resilience needed to face future challenges. Moreover, each time we give up, we strengthen the mental habit of avoidance, making it more likely that we'll repeat this pattern in the future. In the face of adversity, the urge to give up can be powerful. We may feel that our efforts are futile, that the pain is too great, or that we'll never overcome the obstacles before us. However, Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of perseverance, virya, which is considered one of the 5 spiritual faculties necessary for achieving enlightenment. The power of perspective. How we view our challenges has a profound impact on how we experience them. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate a perspective that recognizes the transient nature of all things, including our current difficulties. By reminding ourselves that our pain and problems are impermanent, we can find hope and motivation to keep moving forward. This perspective also involves understanding that our current situation is just one chapter in our life story. The difficulties we face today do not define our entire existence or determine our future. By maintaining this broader view, we can avoid becoming overwhelmed by our immediate circumstances and instead focus on the possibilities that lie ahead. Each challenge we face offers valuable lessons that contribute to our personal and spiritual growth. Through hardship, we develop qualities such as patience, compassion, and wisdom. We learn to empathize with others who are suffering, we discover inner strengths we never knew we had, and we gain insights into the nature of life and ourselves. Reflecting on our struggles can help us identify the lessons they have to offer. For example, a difficult relationship may teach us about communication and boundaries, while a professional setback may help us clarify our values and priorities. By approaching our challenges with a willingness to learn, we transform them from mere obstacles into stepping stones on our path of growth. Learning from our struggles. The interconnectedness of suffering. When we share our struggles and how we've overcome them, we inspire others facing similar challenges. Our perseverance becomes a beacon of hope for those who may be feeling lost or overwhelmed. In this way, our individual journey of facing and overcoming difficulties becomes part of a larger narrative of human resilience and growth. Buddhist philosophy also reminds us that our suffering is not isolated or unique. All beings experience pain and hardship in some form. Recognizing this interconnectedness can foster a sense of compassion and solidarity with others. We come to understand that by persevering through our own difficulties, we are not only helping ourselves but also contributing to the collective well-being of all beings. Cultivating perseverance in the face of challenges requires both mental and emotional fortitude. Here are some practical strategies rooted in Buddhist teachings that can help you navigate difficult times. Practical strategies for perseverance. 1. Mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness practice helps us stay present with our experiences, including our struggles. By observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we can avoid becoming overwhelmed by them. Regular meditation cultivates mental clarity and emotional balance, making it easier to approach challenges with a calm and focused mind. Buddhism teaches that failure is not the opposite of success, but a natural part of the learning process. When you experience a setback, try to reframe it as an opportunity to learn and grow rather than as a reflection of your worth or abilities. Ask yourself what you can learn from the experience and how it can inform your future efforts. 2. Reframing failure. 3. Setting small goals. Large challenges can feel insurmountable when viewed all at once. Breaking them down into smaller, manageable goals can make them more approachable and help you maintain motivation. Celebrate each small victory along the way, as these incremental successes build confidence and momentum. 4. Cultivating compassion. Be kind to yourself during difficult times. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would offer to a friend facing similar challenges. Recognize that struggling is a natural part of life and doesn't make you weak or inadequate. 5. Connecting with a community. Buddhist practice often emphasizes the importance of community, sangha. Surrounding yourself with supportive people who understand your journey can provide encouragement and perspective during tough times. Sharing your experiences with others can also help you feel less alone and more connected. Over time, this practice of perseverance can lead to greater emotional stability and a more positive outlook on life. We become less reactive to setbacks and more able to maintain our equilibrium in the face of change. This inner stability serves as a foundation for spiritual growth and the cultivation of qualities such as wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. The long-term benefits of perseverance, persevering through challenges, doesn't just help us overcome immediate obstacles, it also has profound long-term benefits for our well-being and spiritual development. As we cultivate resilience and learn to navigate difficulties with grace, we develop a deeper sense of inner strength and confidence. When to rest and when to push forward. Furthermore, the lessons learned through perseverance continue to benefit us throughout our lives. They shape how we approach future challenges and inform our interactions with others. We become more empathetic, understanding, and supportive partners, friends, colleagues, and community members. It's important to recognize that perseverance doesn't mean pushing yourself beyond all limits without rest. Buddhism teaches the importance of balance and self-care. There are times when resting and recovering are necessary for your well-being and ability to continue moving forward. Faith and hope play crucial roles in sustaining perseverance during difficult times. Buddhist faith isn't about blind belief, but rather a confident trust in the principles and practices that have been proven beneficial over time. Having faith in the teaching's ability to guide you through challenges can provide the mental and emotional support needed to keep going. The key is to discern between when rest is needed and when procrastination or avoidance is creeping in. Cultivate self-awareness to understand your body and mind signals. If you're physically exhausted or emotionally drained, taking time to rest and rejuvenate may be the most beneficial choice. However, if you're avoiding a challenge out of fear or discomfort, gently encouraging yourself to take small steps forward may be more appropriate. The role of faith and hope. Hope serves as a powerful motivator, reminding us that our current situation is not permanent and that positive change is possible. Nurturing hope doesn't mean ignoring the reality of your circumstances, but rather maintaining a realistic optimism that you can work through them and emerge stronger. Conclusion. Persevering through life's challenges is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice and a vital aspect of personal and spiritual growth. By understanding the inevitability of difficulties, maintaining a broader perspective, learning from our struggles, and employing practical strategies, we can navigate even the darkest times with resilience and grace. The power of helping others, a Buddhist perspective on altruism and compassion. Introduction. Life's journey is marked by both moments of joy and times of struggle. When we find ourselves in the latter, it can be tempting to focus inward, to conserve our energy and resources as we navigate the difficulties. However, Buddhist teachings offer a profound and counterintuitive insight. In our darkest moments, we can find light not by turning inward, but by reaching outward to help others. This practice of altruism is deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy and serves as a powerful tool for personal transformation and spiritual growth. The Buddhist concept of compassion. At the heart of Buddhism lies the ideal of compassion, karuna, which is the genuine desire to see all beings free from suffering. Compassion is not merely a passive feeling, but an active commitment to alleviating the suffering of others. It is through this active compassion that we begin to break down the barriers of self-centeredness and connect with the shared humanity that binds us all. The development of compassion is closely linked to the realization of our interconnectedness. Buddhism teaches that all beings are interconnected, and the suffering of one affects the whole. When we recognize this interconnectedness, we understand that helping others is not just a noble act, but an essential practice for our own well-being and spiritual development. The counterintuitive nature of helping others when down. When we are feeling down or facing our own struggles, the idea of helping others may seem counterintuitive. We might think, I can barely manage my own problems. How can I possibly help someone else? Yet it is precisely in these moments that extending a helping hand can be most transformative. By shifting our focus from our own suffering to the well-being of others, we create space for a new perspective. we discover that even in our pain, we have the capacity to make a positive difference in someone else's life. This act of giving can provide a sense of purpose and meaning that transcends our immediate circumstances, offering a reprieve from our own struggles and fostering a deeper sense of connection and belonging. The reciprocal nature of giving and receiving. Buddhist teachings emphasize the reciprocal nature of giving and receiving. The act of helping others is not a one-way transaction but a dynamic exchange that benefits both parties. When we give selflessly, we create positive karma, which is the energetic imprint of our actions that influences our future circumstances. Moreover, the happiness and fulfillment that come from helping others are profound and genuine. Studies in positive psychology have shown that acts of kindness release endorphins, creating what is known as a helper's high. This natural high is not just a fleeting feeling, but can lead to lasting improvements in mood and overall well-being. The practice of Tonglen. One powerful Buddhist meditation practice that embodies the spirit of helping others is Tonglen. This practice involves visualizing taking in the suffering of others with the inhalation and sending out happiness and compassion with the exhalation. Tonglen cultivates empathy and compassion by directly engaging with the suffering of others in a mindful and intentional way. Through this practice, we develop the courage to face suffering, both our own and that of others, and the wisdom to transform it into a source of healing and connection. Overcoming obstacles to helping others. Despite the benefits of helping others, there are common obstacles that can prevent us from fully embracing this practice. Understanding and addressing these obstacles is essential for cultivating a consistent and heartfelt approach to altruism. Fear of depletion. One common concern is the fear that helping others will deplete our already limited resources of time, energy, and emotional capacity. It's important to recognize that helping others doesn't necessarily mean taking on massive responsibilities. Even small acts of kindness, such as offering a listening ear or a helping hand with a task, can make a significant difference. Self-centeredness. Our habitual self-centeredness can create a barrier to genuine compassion. This self-centeredness arises from the delusion of inherent self-existence, which Buddhism seeks to dismantle. By recognizing that our self-centeredness is interdependent and fluid, we can begin to dissolve the boundaries that separate us from others, making it easier to extend compassion. Discouragement from others' reactions. Sometimes, the people we try to help may not respond in the way we expect or hope for. They may reject our help, remain ungrateful, or continue to suffer despite our efforts. It's essential to approach helping others with a mindset of selfless giving without attachment to the outcome. Our role is to offer support with a sincere heart, and the results are beyond our control. Cultivating a lifestyle of altruism. Helping others is not a one-time action, but a practice that can be woven into the fabric of our daily lives. By cultivating a lifestyle of altruism, we transform our relationship with the world and discover profound benefits for ourselves and others. Daily acts of kindness. Incorporating small acts of kindness into our daily routine is a powerful way to practice altruism. This might include holding the door for someone, offering a compliment, or preparing a meal for a neighbor in need. These seemingly minor gestures accumulate over time and create a culture of kindness that can inspire others to do the same. Volunteering and service. Dedicating time to volunteer work or community service allows us to make a more substantial impact in the lives of others. Whether it's working at a local shelter, tutoring underprivileged students, or participating in environmental cleanup efforts, volunteering provides opportunities to engage directly with the suffering of others and contribute to meaningful solutions. Mindful giving. Mindful giving involves being present and intentional in our acts of generosity. This means not only offering material resources, but also giving our full attention and empathy when interacting with others. When we give mindfully, we honor the dignity of the recipient and deepen the connection between us. The transformative impact on the helper. The practice of helping others has a profound transformative impact on the helper. As we extend compassion and support to others, we undergo significant changes in our own hearts and minds. Cultivating empathy. Repeatedly engaging with the suffering of others cultivates empathy, enabling us to better understand and relate to a wide range of human experiences. This increased empathy makes us more compassionate and effective helpers, creating a positive feedback loop of growth. Overcoming self-preoccupation. Our struggles with self-mite preoccupation and anxiety can be alleviated through the practice of helping others. When we focus on the well-being of others, we step outside the narrow confines of our own concerns and discover a broader perspective that includes the richness of shared humanity. Deepening spiritual practice. For those on a spiritual path, helping others is an essential practice that deepens and enriches their journey. It brings abstract teachings about compassion and interconnectedness into tangible, lived experience. Through service, we embody the principles we study and internalize them in a way that theoretical understanding alone cannot achieve. The far-reaching benefits for the community and world. Beyond the individual benefits, the practice of helping others has ripple effects that extend throughout communities and the world at large. Building stronger communities. Communities where individuals look out for one another are more resilient, supportive, and cohesive. When we help our neighbors, we strengthen the social bonds that make our communities more than just collections of individuals. They become networks of mutual support and care, creating a culture of compassion. As more people embrace the practice of helping others, a culture of compassion begins to emerge. This culture values kindness, generosity, and empathy, influencing social norms and expectations. In such a culture, acts of altruism become the norm rather than the exception, creating a more compassionate and equitable society. Addressing societal and global issues. Collective action rooted in compassion has the power to address pressing societal and global issues. From poverty and inequality to environmental degradation and social injustice, these challenges require not only policy changes, but also transformations in human behavior and values. A widespread commitment to helping others can drive the kind of systemic change needed to create a more just and sustainable world. Sustaining the practice through challenges. Like any meaningful practice, helping others can face challenges and setbacks. Maintaining our commitment to altruism requires patience, resilience, and continued cultivation. Managing expectations. It's important to approach helping others with realistic expectations. Not every act of kindness will be met with gratitude, and not every effort will yield visible results. By releasing attachment to specific outcomes, we can sustain our practice with a lighter heart and greater equanimity. Preventing burnout. To avoid burnout, it's crucial to balance our giving with self-care. This means setting healthy boundaries, ensuring we have adequate rest and recovery time, and nurturing our own physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Remember that we can only effectively help others if we are also taking care of ourselves. Rekindling motivation. There may be times when our motivation to help others wanes. Reconnecting with our initial inspiration, revisiting the teachings that moved us, or spending time with like-minded individuals can help reignite our commitment to altruism. Conclusion. The Buddhist emphasis on helping others, especially during times of personal struggle, offers a profound path for transformation and growth. Through cultivating compassion, practicing altruism in our daily lives, and understanding the interconnected nature of all beings, we unlock a wellspring of resilience, purpose, and happiness. As we continue to help others with sincerity and mindfulness, we contribute not only to their well-being but also to the betterment of our communities and the world. In doing so, we honor the deepest teachings of Buddhism and align our lives with the aspiration to alleviate suffering and promote happiness for all beings. Patience and realistic expectations. Embracing the journey of growth.
Introduction.
In a world that thrives on instant connectivity and rapid results, the practice of patience has become a rare and valuable virtue. Buddhist teachings offer a profound perspective on the importance of patience and realistic expectations in our journey toward personal growth and spiritual development. By understanding that meaningful change and fulfillment require time, we can release ourselves from the pressure of instant gratification and embrace the beauty of the gradual path. The instant world versus real life. We live in a society conditioned by instant access. Social media algorithms deliver information in seconds, online shopping offers one-click purchases, and entertainment is available on demand. This constant bombardment of instant experiences has reshaped our expectations, leading many to believe that success, happiness, and fulfillment should also be immediate. However, real life operates on a different timeline. Unlike digital experiences, which can be downloaded or streamed instantly, the milestones of personal growth, relationship building, and inner peace unfold gradually. A tree doesn't grow from a seed to full maturity in a day. Similarly, our spiritual and emotional development requires seasons of nurturing, challenges, and patient persistence. The nature of patience in Buddhism. Buddhism views patience, khanti, as a vital spiritual faculty and a key component of the path to enlightenment. It is not merely passive waiting, but an active practice of acceptance, forbearance, and equanimity in the face of difficulty. Patience allows us to remain steady and composed, even when circumstances are challenging or progress seems slow. In the Buddhist tradition, patience is considered one of the paramitas, or perfections, that practitioners cultivate on the path. It is closely linked to other qualities such as wisdom, compassion, and generosity. When we practice patience, we create space for wisdom to arise and for compassionate action to emerge without haste or frustration. Understanding realistic expectations. An essential aspect of patience is setting realistic expectations for ourselves and our journey. Unrealistic expectations often stem from comparing ourselves to others or buying into societal myths about quick success and easy happiness. Buddhist teachings encourage us to release these comparisons and myths, recognizing that each person's path is unique and deeply personal. Setting realistic expectations involves acknowledging that growth is nonlinear. There will be periods of rapid advancement, plateaus, and even setbacks. By accepting this natural rhythm, we can approach our practice and our lives with greater kindness and less self-centered criticism. The science behind patience and growth. Modern psychology supports the Buddhist emphasis on patience and gradual growth. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, occurs most effectively through consistent, repetitive practice over time. This means that developing new habits of mind, such as mindfulness or compassion, requires patient and dedicated effort. Furthermore, the concept of deliberate practice in psychology highlights that significant skill development comes not from occasional intense efforts, but from regular, focused practice over extended periods. This aligns perfectly with the Buddhist approach to spiritual growth, which emphasizes daily practice and gradual cultivation of virtues. Cultivating patience in daily life. Patience is not an abstract virtue, but a quality that can be cultivated through intentional practice in our everyday experiences. Embracing the present moment. Impatience often arises from fixation on the future and dissatisfaction with the present. By developing mindfulness of the present moment, we can break this cycle. Simple practices, like focusing on the sensations of breathing, the feeling of feet touching the ground while walking, or the taste and texture of food during meals, anchor us in the here and now, reducing the agitation of impatience. Working with frustration. Frustration is a common companion to impatience. When things don't go as planned or progress seems slow, we can work with this frustration by acknowledging it without judgment and then inquiring into its roots. Often, frustration stems from unrealistic expectations or attachments to specific outcomes. By recognizing these mental patterns, we can begin to loosen their grip. Practicing with small annoyances. Daily life offers countless opportunities to practice patience through small annoyances. Waiting in line, facing traffic, or dealing with minor technological glitches can become moments of conscious patience practice. Instead of reacting with irritation, we can use these situations to cultivate acceptance and equanimity, building our patience muscle over time. The role of faith and trust in the process. Cultivating patience requires a degree of faith and trust in the process of growth. This doesn't mean blind belief, but a confident openness based on understanding the principles of cause and effect, karma, trusting that our consistent efforts will yield results over time, even when they're not immediately visible, sustains us through periods of apparent stagnation. Releasing attachment to timelines. A significant obstacle to patience is our attachment to specific timelines. We may believe that we should have achieved certain milestones by a particular age or stage in life. Buddhism teaches us to release these fixed timelines, recognizing that each person's journey unfolds uniquely. By letting go of rigid expectations about when and how we should progress, we can practice patience with greater ease and authenticity. The relationship between patience and compassion are deeply interconnected. When we practice patience with ourselves, acknowledging our limitations and the time we need to grow, we develop self-mind's compassion. This self-mind's compassion then extends to others, allowing us to respond to their struggles and imperfections with understanding rather than irritation. Conversely, cultivating compassion for others helps us practice patience. Recognizing that everyone is doing their best within their circumstances fosters patience in our interactions and reduces the tendency to judge or expect immediate change. Overcoming discouragement in the face of slow progress. It's natural to feel discouraged when progress seems slow or when we experience setbacks. However, these moments can become opportunities to deepen our practice of patience. Reframing setbacks as learning opportunities. Setbacks are an inevitable part of any growth process. Instead of viewing them as failures, we can reframe them as valuable learning experiences. Each time we fall, we gain insight into our patterns and vulnerabilities, which can inform our future efforts and make our eventual progress more sustainable. Celebrating small victories. Patience doesn't mean ignoring progress altogether. It's important to recognize and celebrate small victories along the way. Acknowledging incremental improvements reinforces our motivation and provides tangible evidence of our growth, even when it's gradual. The impact of patience on relationships. Patience is not only beneficial for individual growth, but also transforms our relationships with others. Impatient interactions often lead to tension, misunderstandings, and emotional distance. When we practice patience in our relationships, we create space for open communication, deeper understanding, and greater intimacy. Patience in conflict resolution. Conflicts are inevitable in any relationship, but patience can turn them into opportunities for growth rather than sources of harm. By pausing before reacting, listening attentively to others' perspectives, and approaching disagreements with a willingness to understand rather than to win, we can resolve conflicts more effectively and strengthen our connections. Nurturing relationships through patience. Building meaningful relationships requires time and consistent effort. Patience allows us to be present with others without rushing the development of trust and intimacy. We can honor the natural pacing of each relationship, whether it's a friendship, romantic partnership, or family bond, leading to more authentic and fulfilling connections. The far-reaching benefits of patience. The practice of patience extends beyond personal well-being and relationships to impact broader societal and environmental dimensions. Patience and sustainability. In an era of climate crisis and environmental degradation, patience is essential for sustainable living and advocacy. Meaningful environmental change requires long medium-term commitment, policy shifts, and cultural transformations that cannot be achieved overnight. Cultivating patience helps us stay engaged in this critical work without burning out or becoming discouraged by the slow pace of progress. Patience in social justice efforts. Social justice movements also require steadfast patience. While urgent action is often necessary, sustainable change involves educating, organizing, and shifting deeply ingrained systems and mindsets. Practitioners of patience recognize that this work is a marathon, not a sprint, and approach it with endurance and hope. Conclusion. Patience, when understood and practiced within the Buddhist framework, becomes not a passive virtue, but a dynamic force for personal transformation and collective well-being. By releasing unrealistic expectations, embracing the present moment, and trusting the gradual process of growth, we align ourselves with the natural rhythm of life. In doing so, we discover that patience is not the enemy of progress, but its essential companion, a path that leads us toward wisdom, compassion, and the profound fulfillment that comes from walking the journey of growth with grace and acceptance. Never give up. The power of hope and perseverance in Buddhism. Introduction. Life's journey is fraught with challenges, moments of despair, and circumstances that test our resolve. When faced with seemingly insurmountable obstacles, the temptation to give up can be overwhelming. Yet within the rich tapestry of Buddhist teachings lies a profound message of hope and perseverance, a message that encourages us to never abandon our efforts, no matter how dire our circumstances may appear. This teaching is not merely a platitude, but a deeply philosophical and practical approach to engaging with life's difficulties and our own potential for growth and transformation. The Buddhist perspective on hope. In Buddhism, hope is not a naive expectation that everything will magically improve. Instead, it is a grounded confidence in our ability to positively influence our future through our actions and mental states. This hope is rooted in the understanding of karma, the principle that our intentional actions shape our experiences. When we maintain hope, we affirm our capacity to create positive change through consistent effort and wise choices. This perspective on hope is also closely tied to the concept of Buddha nature. All beings possess the inherent potential for awakening and liberation, regardless of their current circumstances. Hope reminds us that this potential is never irreversibly obscured by our present sufferings or shortcomings. No matter how far we may have strayed or how deeply we may be mired in difficulty, the possibility of transformation and growth remains. The nature of suffering and the imperative to keep going. Buddhism begins with the acknowledgement of suffering dukkha as an inherent part of life. This does not suggest resignation, but rather a clear mind recognition that forms the foundation for meaningful action. Understanding that suffering is universal can paradoxically provide comfort. We are not alone in our struggles. Moreover, recognizing that suffering arises from identifiable causes, such as craving and ignorance, gives us a target for our efforts. By continuing to engage with the path of practice, we address these causes and gradually reduce suffering, both our own and that of others. The Buddha's own story exemplifies this imperative to keep going. After years of challenging spiritual practices and the profound temptation to abandon his quest under the Bodhi tree, he persevered. His enlightenment serves as the ultimate testament to the power of unwavering commitment in the face of adversity. The antidote to despair: mindfulness and awareness. When despair threatens to overwhelm us, mindfulness and awareness act as powerful antidotes. By training our attention on the present moment, we break free from the mental projections that often amplify our suffering, ruminations on past failures, or catastrophic imaginings of the future. Mindfulness allows us to experience our current circumstances with clarity and without the added burden of judgment or resistance. Moreover, mindfulness cultivates a direct awareness of our mental and emotional states. We can observe the arising of defeatist thoughts without becoming identified with them. This creates space to choose a different response, a response rooted in hope and resilience rather than resignation. Regular meditation practice strengthens this capacity, making it easier to access in moments of crisis. The psychology of perseverance and the Buddhist approach. Modern psychology offers insights that align with Buddhist teachings on perseverance, research on grit. The combination of passion and persistence in pursuing long-term goals has shown that individuals who maintain resilience in the face of setbacks are more likely to achieve success and fulfillment. Buddhism provides a framework for developing this grit through spiritual practice and philosophical understanding. Furthermore, the concept of learned helplessness, where individuals become resigned to adverse situations after experiencing a lack of control, highlights the importance of actively combating such tendencies. Buddhist practices encourage us to recognize our agency within the bounds of interdependence. While we cannot control all external circumstances, we can always choose our responses and maintain our commitment to growth. The community as a source of strength. The Buddhist Sangha, or community of practitioners, plays a crucial role in supporting the resolve to never give up. Within the Sangha, individuals find encouragement, shared wisdom, and a sense of belonging that can be deeply motivating during difficult times. The collective energy of a community dedicated to positive transformation creates a supportive environment where members can remind one another of their potential and the validity of their efforts. Moreover, the stories and examples of fellow practitioners, both historical and contemporary, serve as powerful inspirations. Learning about the perseverance of others who have faced similar challenges can reignite our own commitment and remind us that we are part of a larger continuum of spiritual practice and growth. The ethical dimension of perseverance. Choosing to never give up is not merely a personal decision. It has profound ethical implications. When we persevere in our practice and efforts to grow, we not only benefit ourselves but also enhance our capacity to contribute positively to the world. Our increased wisdom, compassion, and emotional stability enable us to be more effective agents of good in the lives of others. Furthermore, giving up in the face of difficulty can have ripple effects that extend beyond our individual experience. Our actions and attitudes serve as examples to those around us. Family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. By modeling perseverance, we inspire others to maintain their own efforts in the pursuit of positive change, creating a multiplier effect that extends our impact far beyond what we might initially imagine. Overcoming obstacles to maintaining resolve. Despite our best intentions, numerous obstacles can challenge our commitment to never giving up. Understanding these obstacles and developing strategies to address them is essential for sustaining our practice. Self-doubt and discouragement. Self-doubt often arises when progress seems slow or when we encounter repeated setbacks. Buddhism teaches us to approach ourselves with the same compassion we would offer to a struggling friend, recognizing that self-doubt is a natural part of the journey and not a reflection of our true potential can help us move through these moments. Reflecting on past successes, no matter how small, can also reinforce our confidence in our ability to persevere. Feelings of isolation. Persevering can feel like a solitary endeavor, especially when those around us don't share our commitments or understand our struggles. Reconnecting with the broader Buddhist community, whether in person or through digital means, can alleviate this sense of isolation. Additionally, extending our compassion to others who may also be feeling isolated can create bonds of mutual support and understanding. Physical and emotional exhaustion. Exhaustion is a legitimate barrier to maintaining resolve. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of balance and self-care. Ensuring adequate rest, nutrition, and physical activity supports our overall well-being and makes it easier to sustain our efforts. It's important to recognize that taking care of ourselves is not selfish, but rather a necessary foundation for meaningful practice and perseverance. The far-reaching benefits of never giving up. The choice to never give up yields benefits that extend far beyond overcoming a particular challenge. It transforms our relationship with ourselves, others, and the world in profound and lasting ways. Personal transformation. Through perseverance, we undergo significant personal growth. We develop qualities such as resilience, patience, and determination that become integral parts of our character. These qualities not only help us navigate current difficulties, but also serve us well in future challenges, creating a positive cycle of growth and development. Contribution to collective well-being. As we become more resilient and compassionate through our practice of perseverance, we enhance our ability to contribute positively to society. We become better equipped to engage in meaningful work, to support others in their struggles, and to participate in efforts to create a more just and compassionate world. Our individual perseverance thus becomes a building block for collective transformation. Realizing our highest potential. Ultimately, the practice of never giving up aligns us with our highest potential as human beings. It reflects our capacity for growth, our pursuit of wisdom and compassion, and our commitment to the greater good. In realizing this potential, we honor the fundamental dignity and worth that Buddhism recognizes in all beings. Conclusion. The Buddhist teaching to never give up is not a call to stubborn persistence in the face of all reason. It is a profound and nuanced approach to engaging with life's challenges that combines hope, mindfulness, compassion, and ethical commitment. By understanding the nature of suffering, cultivating resilience through practice, and drawing strength from community and our highest aspirations, we can transform our relationship with adversity and discover our capacity for profound growth and contribution. In the end, choosing to never give up is not merely about achieving specific goals, but about embracing a way of life that recognizes our inherent potential and our interconnected responsibility to one another. It is a path that leads us toward greater fulfillment, wisdom, and the liberation that Buddhism ultimately promises. The Buddhist Path to Inner Peace and Enlightenment. Introduction. The ultimate goal of Buddhist practice is the attainment of inner peace and enlightenment. This is not a distant or abstract ideal, but a tangible transformation accessible to all beings through dedicated practice and cultivation of wisdom and compassion. The path to inner peace is marked by profound self-inquiry, ethical conduct, mental discipline, and the direct realization of the true nature of reality. Understanding enlightenment. Enlightenment, or nirvana, represents the cessation of suffering and the liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara. It is a state of perfect peace, wisdom, and freedom from the delusions and attachments that cause suffering. In this state, one experiences a profound and unshakable happiness that is independent of external circumstances. Enlightenment is not the acquisition of supernatural powers or the merging with a divine entity, but the complete realization of the true nature of the self and reality. It involves the eradication of ignorance, the root cause of suffering, and the full blossoming of compassion and wisdom. The Eightfold Path, a practical guide to inner peace. The Buddha taught the Eightfold Path as a practical guide to achieving inner peace and enlightenment. This path consists of 8 interconnected factors that address different dimensions of our lives and practice. 1. Right view. Understanding the Four Noble Truths and the true nature of reality, right view serves as the foundation for all other practices, providing the correct understanding that guides our actions and thoughts. 2. Right intention. Cultivating wholesome intentions free from greed, hatred, and delusion. This involves committing to a life of compassion, renunciation, and harmlessness. 3. Right speech. Practicing truthful, kind, and beneficial speech. Right speech builds harmonious relationships and supports a mind that is free from negativity. 4. Right action. Engaging in ethical conduct that avoids harm to ourselves and others. This includes abstaining from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. 5. Right livelihood. Choosing a way of life that aligns with ethical principles and does not cause harm. This involves avoiding occupations that contribute to suffering, such as trading in weapons, living beings, or intoxicants. 6. Right effort. Diligently cultivating wholesome qualities and abandoning unwholesome ones. Right effort involves continuous mental and emotional discipline to maintain a positive direction in our practice. 7. Right mindfulness. Developing clear awareness of our body, feelings, mind, and mental phenomena. Right mindfulness anchors us in the present moment and provides the clarity needed for insight. 8. Right concentration. Cultivating deep states of meditative absorption jhana through focused meditation. Right concentration stills the mind and creates the conditions for profound insight and liberation. Meditation and mental discipline. Meditation lies at the heart of Buddhist practice and is essential for achieving inner peace and enlightenment. Through meditation we develop the mental clarity and stability needed to directly perceive the true nature of reality. Shamatha meditation, calm abiding. Shamatha meditation focuses on developing concentration and mental stability. By fixating the mind on a single object, such as the breath, a visualization, or a mantra, we train the mind to remain steady and undistracted. Over time, this practice leads to a state of calm and focused awareness that serves as a foundation for deeper insight. Vipassana meditation, insight. Vipassana meditation cultivates insight into the true nature of reality. Through mindful observation of our experience, we directly perceive the impermanent, unsatisfactory, and selfless nature of all phenomena. This insight gradually dissolves the delusions that cause suffering and opens the door to liberation. The role of wisdom in achieving inner peace. Wisdom prajna is the decisive factor in attaining enlightenment. Buddhist wisdom is not mere intellectual knowledge, but the direct, experiential understanding of reality. This wisdom arises through meditation, reflection, and the application of teachings in daily life. Understanding emptiness. One of the most profound teachings in Buddhism is the concept of emptiness shunyata, which asserts that all phenomena lack inherent, independent existence. Everything arises in dependence on causes and conditions and exists only in relation to other phenomena. Realizing emptiness dissolves the delusion of a separate, autonomous self and the clinging that causes suffering. The middle way. The middle way is a balanced approach to understanding reality that avoids the extremes of eternalism, the belief in a permanent, unchanging self or reality, and nihilism, the belief that nothing exists. It recognizes the conventional reality of our everyday experience while also understanding its ultimate emptiness of inherent existence. Ethical conduct as a foundation. Ethical conduct sila is the foundation upon which inner peace and enlightenment are built. Without a stable foundation of morality, mental discipline, and wisdom cannot flourish. Ethical conduct involves the 5 precepts, voluntary commitments to abstain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, false speech, and intoxicants that cloud the mind. Bodhisattva vows for those following the Mahayana tradition, vows to work for the enlightenment of all beings and to develop the paramitas, perfections such as generosity, patience, and compassion. Mindful living, bringing awareness and intentionality to all daily activities, ensuring that our actions reflect our ethical commitments. Overcoming the obstacles to inner peace. The path to inner peace is not without obstacles. Understanding and addressing these obstacles is essential for maintaining progress on the path. The 5 hindrances. The 5 hindrances are mental states that obstruct meditation and the cultivation of wisdom. 1. Sensual desire, craving for pleasurable experiences. 2. Ill meals will resentment, anger or hatred toward oneself or others. 3. Sloth, mind or torpor, mental and physical sluggishness. 4. Restlessness, mind, worry, agitation, and anxiety. 5. Doubt, uncertainty about the teachings, oneself, or the path. By recognizing these hindrances when they arise and applying specific antidotes such as mindfulness, meditation, or reflection, we can overcome them and maintain our spiritual practice. The 10 fetters. The 10 fetters are deep-seated mental chains that bind us to samsara. As we progress on the path, we gradually weaken and eventually eliminate these fetters. 1. Belief in a permanent self. 2. Skeptical doubt about the teachings. 3. Attachment to rites and rituals. 4. Sensual desire. 5. Ill-mindedness will. 6. Craving for finite material existence. 7. Craving for immaterial existence. 8. Conceit. 9. Restlessness. 10. Ignorance. Each stage of enlightenment corresponds to the elimination of certain fetters, with full enlightenment achieved upon their complete removal. The support of wisdom teachings and reflective practice. In addition to meditation and ethical conduct, engaging with Buddhist wisdom teachings and reflective practice deepens our understanding and accelerates our progress. Studying the Dharma. The Dharma, or teachings of the Buddha, provides a vast repository of wisdom on the nature of reality, the path to liberation, and the cultivation of virtue. Regular study of sutras, commentaries, and philosophical texts enriches our practice and offers new perspectives on our experiences. Reflective contemplation. Reflective contemplation bridges the gap between intellectual understanding and direct experience. By pondering key teachings, such as impermanence, suffering, and emptiness, we internalize their meaning and prepare the mind for deeper realization during meditation. The community and the teacher, essential supports on the path. The journey to inner peace is greatly supported by connection to a spiritual community, sangha, and guidance from an experienced teacher. The role of the sangha. The sangha offers a supportive environment where practitioners encourage, teach, and inspire one another. It provides a context for shared practice, discussion, and the reinforcement of ethical commitments. The collective energy of a dedicated community can help sustain motivation during difficult times. The guidance of a teacher. A qualified teacher offers personalized guidance, helping practitioners navigate challenges, avoid common pitfalls, and deepen their understanding. The teacher-student relationship is particularly emphasized in traditions like Vajrayana Buddhism, where the teacher-guru plays a central role in guiding students through advanced practices. The stages of enlightenment. Buddhism describes specific stages of enlightenment, each marked by increasing freedom from suffering and deeper realization of truth. Stream enter sotapanna. The first stage of enlightenment, attained by realizing the Four Noble Truths and eliminating the first 3 fetters. A stream netter will at most be reborn 7 more times in the human realm before achieving full enlightenment. Once mice returner Sakadagami. Having further weakened sensual desire and ill mana well, a once mana returner will return to the human realm only 1 more time before attaining full enlightenment. Non-returner Anagami. Having eradicated sensual desire and illful will, a non-returner is reborn in a pure realm and attains enlightenment there without returning to the human state. Arahant. The final stage of enlightenment, marked by the complete elimination of all 10 fetters. An arahant is fully liberated from samsara and experiences the cessation of suffering, nirvana. The experience of inner peace. As practitioners progress on the path, they begin to taste the experience of inner peace. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances, but arises from within, rooted in wisdom and non-mindless attachment. It manifests as a deep sense of contentment, clarity, and equanimity, even amid life's challenges. This inner peace is not the absence of feeling but a stable foundation from which emotions and experiences are perceived with clarity and balance. It allows practitioners to respond to life with wisdom and compassion rather than being driven by reactive patterns. Conclusion. The Buddhist path to inner peace and enlightenment offers a comprehensive and practical approach to transforming suffering and realizing our highest potential. Through ethical conduct, mental discipline, wisdom cultivation, and connection to community and teachers, practitioners can gradually dissolve the delusions and attachments that cause suffering and awaken to a state of profound peace and freedom. This journey is accessible to all who sincerely apply themselves to the practice, regardless of their background or circumstances. It invites us to engage deeply with our own minds and hearts, to question our assumptions about reality, and to live with increasing awareness, compassion, and wisdom. In doing so, we not only find our own liberation but also become beacons of peace and inspiration for others on the path. Final thoughts. Walking the path of Buddhist wisdom. Throughout our exploration of Buddhist teachings, we have delved into profound concepts such as impermanence, the importance of perseverance, the power of helping others, the practice of patience, and the ultimate goal of inner peace and enlightenment. These teachings collectively form a comprehensive guide to navigating life's challenges and cultivating wisdom and compassion within ourselves. Buddhism invites us to embrace the transient nature of life, to face difficulties with resilience, to extend a helping hand to others even in our own times of hardship, and to understand that meaningful growth requires patience and time. Most importantly, it offers us a path to inner peace and liberation through ethical conduct, meditation, and wisdom. As we conclude this journey through Buddhist teachings, remember that these principles are not merely theoretical, but are intended to be lived and practiced in our daily lives. Each moment presents an opportunity to apply these teachings, whether through mindful breathing, acts of kindness, or maintaining patience during challenging situations. The teachings of the Buddha are a timeless gift, offering guidance and inspiration across generations and cultures. By incorporating these principles into our lives, we not only transform our own experiences, but also contribute to a more compassionate and peaceful world. May these teachings continue to resonate with you and inspire your journey. Remember to share the wisdom of the Buddha with others, for in doing so, we collectively create a ripple effect of understanding and compassion that can extend far beyond what we might imagine. If you have found value in these teachings, consider subscribing to our channel and sharing our content with others who may also benefit from the wisdom of Buddhism. Together, we can spread the message of peace, compassion, and enlightenment to all corners of the world.